single flame can light a million more.
Gustavo, my brother. Here's your X-Force. This is X-Force 800 HD, and this old Carl built box. It's got Toshibas in it. And Gustavo sent this to me. He says, "Man, make this thing freaking scream." He goes, "Do whatever repairs you feel are necessary, and I want to add a driver to it." So Gustavo, I can do all that for you. So when I'm turned loose on a project like this, I kind of just play with it and tinker with it and tinker with it and tinker with it. So what we did is we added the 2-pill driver section. Normally I'd want to add that here and then have the final section on the back side of the heatsink. So we're already pre-committed to having this section here. I went ahead and I added it here, added a little bit of a heatsink bump there. Drilled this out, built this all the way up for you, the little 2-pill section. And then I changed the driver section around. I added a variable for you on the input. But I'd suggest running that puppy all the way open, if you can. Use your radio to control the dead key of the amplifier. Yeah, old Carl built box when they twisted all the leads together and they interlaced the wires together, and yeah, lots of little things that are different. But changed your output section quite a bit. Changed it to a 1-to-1. I moved the output tuning tube. It was mounted this direction, but of course, as soon as we put the 2-pill there, it had been in the way. Somewhere along the line, somebody had a bird line section attached to this thing, and they took it off and they put this other connector on there. So the other thing I did is when it showed up, the output section was completely broke free and was floating around the relay and the tube and the coil and everything. So it didn't work. Thought it looked good, but guess what? It just needed a little bit of solder work, 10 or 11 care. I went in and I did a couple of the B+ upgrades on it. Changed out the little dinky 22 gauge wires, which we've all shown that if you change that out, actually will put out more power and the transistors will run cooler because they're not starving for current. The other thing I did is I took the fans and I flipped them over. First I cleaned them because they were all full of cigarette jizz and nastiness, and I cleaned all that off. I flipped the fans over so they were blowing into the cabinet instead of pulling air out, which in my opinion makes a big difference. Cool air down across the components and exhausts out versus low pressure coming from here and then it rolls up and bypasses the parts completely. That and the laws of physics state that the fans need to blow in, and it's easier to pressurize an enclosed space than it is to pull a vacuum upon it. Much more efficient. Replaced up your burned input resistor. Redid and did the 5-watt output resistor, and then went ahead and did 5 watts all throughout the damn thing. Because them little buffer resistors, believe it or not, get hot. Yeah, 2 watts are adequate. 5 watts works better. I don't care what anybody says, it works better. Measure it by any means. Resistance, heat loads, operation, it works better. So therefore we use them. Let's see, that's about it. Kind of peaked and tweaked per se. Now, brother, it's all ready to come back to you. The other thing is the output combiner had sheared off the low temp hot glue that they used to hold it down. It popped off the board. I went underneath here and shined up the board so the hot glue would have something to grab to. And of course, I use a high temp hot glue. I don't use like the craft hot glue, stuff that you can buy at the craft store. I got to go to Granger's and get mine. It's a commercial grade hot glue that I use to hold these down. And you got to use hot glue because epoxy's too brittle, and because this is in between the two heat sinks and this board has a tendency to flex either in shipping or riding around in the mobile, that will break off if you epoxy that down. So we elevated the tuning tube the way I like to do things, so it's up and in the air so air can get moving around the capacitor and make sure to fully cool it. Because believe it or not, the tuning tube gets hot, and as soon as this Teflon gets hot, it has a tendency to pinhole, especially in the higher wattage boxes. Changed out your output tuning coil because what was in here was only a turn and a half and was woefully inadequate for the amount of induction that needed to be present. But other than that, pretty straightforward. Just moved a couple wires around, right? Well, man, let me put the tin on it. Today we're going to use the 400 amp Meanwell switch supply that I have underneath the bench. We're going to run it straight off of that. We're going to run it right at 15 volts today. Dead on the money at 15 volts, so 14.9, 15 on the money. And I was noticing that when I had it hooked up to my standard power tabs over here, it was losing current. Like I could see with the FLIR that those tabs are getting really hot, so I got to go replace the screws, and I got to make sure I got good solder joints going on over there. Yeah, because going from there down to the 400 amp supply, well, I picked up 480 watts output power, so I'm losing some current there. Take that apart tomorrow and figure out what's going on. So anyhow, let's put the tin on it. These are the super high flow, high velocity, make lots of noise, make the grates on xforce cabinet scream fans. So they got to be loud. There's a lot of heat to get rid of. I've got one over here where the fan quit on it and the guy kept talking on it and it caught on fire because everything got so hot all the solder melted and have short. So fan noise is annoying, but in the same breath it keeps your amp running good. So let's put the tin on it. Let's get on with the testing. Okay, Gustavo. Now, per the customer's request, I don't normally go and slap my logo all over everybody's box, but the customer said it'd make him nothing but happier than hog shit if I'd slap a couple of my stickers on there. So I slapped a little one up front for you and a big one on top. I don't normally like to do that because in the beginning everybody thought I was trying to claim that I had built the amplifier. Not true. I have just worked on the amplifier. Huge difference. I would never... The way I build is significantly different than what was on the inside of this thing. I have modified this thing and I've worked on it. And from what I understand, when you see that name with that logo on it, that usually means the value of the box is higher. I don't know. I'm not in the buying and the selling of these things, but what you do get from this is a good video that allows people to see what we're doing. I had a gentleman not call me too long ago here. He said, please do a video, and I know that no matter what happens, you're going to be nice about it. I'm not here to tear down anybody. No other builder, no other person, no other user. I'm here to help. So now I got that out of my system, brother, you're logoed up. I'll even send you a couple more if you want them and a shirt. Makes no difference to me, man. We are going to start out, let's see, where are we at here? We are going to start out in PEP2X. So this is going to be a 1,000 watt slug right here. It's in 2X, so it's going to read like a 2,000 watt slug. Full deflection over here to the 100 means 2,000 watts. 1,000 watts is going to be right here in the middle, of course, obviously. This is a 1,000 watt slug in average, which we're going to get roughly about 800 bird out of this thing, 900 bird at 15 volts flat. It's a 5 watt slug in reverse back from the bird 10,000 watt dummy load. We're going to use the RCI 2950, which uses that 5 watt slug and that meter between the amplifier and the radio. And then we're going to wrap it up with the 955 hitting it, which uses that 5 watt slug, and it will be sitting between the amplifier and radio to show us input reflector, otherwise represent our input tune. I got to get all that out of the way because once we turn on the Herculean fans that are inside this old box, because back in the day, man, Carl built a hell of an amp. Hell of an amp. A lot of trust was built up behind this name back in the day. Carl built. Check it out. Them puppies are moving here. Look at my post-it notes over here. That's a little ways away. So yeah, we're going to show you what we're going to put into it for drive. Oh, look at that. Really? I got coax in, it's going bad. Of course, after we make it almost 2/3 of the way through the video, the end's going to short out. So right now, hello, it's telling me I got a short. Hold on, I got to fix the end. Torque the end around until it would actually marry up. Okay, so talking through the box. Hello. It's passing through it. Hello. Let's take this down into 1x so it'll make sense. Okay. Hello. Roughly 20 watts of drive. 20-25 watts of drive. Here we go. Prepare for the loudness, everybody. It's on a 2,000 watt scale, right? Hello. Audio. Here's our input tune. Pretty straightforward, right? Okay, so that's what it does with a 30 watt radio. Now we're going to hit it with the 955. Turn on this power supply down here. Now, nope. And that one there. And that one there. Ah, come on. Alright. So we're going to hang up the mic for this. Turn that off. Turn this on. Shut this down. Hello. Let's go back to 1x so it makes sense for everybody. Hello. 90 watts PEP. Check this out. Hello audio. See an 800 bird and well over 2,000 watts peak. We're going to go to 5x now. So that 10 is 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. We're going to be out here in the middle someplace. Hello audio. Hello audio. Hello audio. Hello. Is your input tune? Hello. Of course, I'm swinging the shit out of this thing. Turn the dead key up a little bit. Oh. 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 Finicky. We got a nice little 500 watt carrier going, or a 1,000 watt carrier. Hello. Hello. Pardon me, 400 watt carrier. Hello. Point proven. Hello. It's a 150 watt carrier. 200 watt carrier. Hello. It's a good little lamb, man. It's a good little 2x8. Old style Carl built X-Force with a BBI built 2-pill driver. Gustavo, man, you're good to go, brother. Appreciate you sending it up and let me spend some time with it. I don't get to be here without all you guys. I don't. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every single thing that gets sent up here for repair. Gentlemen, my name is BBI. Without a shadow of a doubt, I am the biggest mud duck in Idaho. Come find us on www.bbiamps.com. Come find me on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. Or if you're watching this video, right down in that corner, right down here below the screen, there's a subscribe button. Click it. Help support me that way. Guys, thanks for tuning in. till the next one, which will be tomorrow. I'll see you. Bye.